where people are getting sick because the sanitation is not addressed. Yes, you know, conflict and there will be strong reactions to that, and that's just because they want something better. And so we found that because they understand the problems, that they are the people to start with and continue the actual solutions, so that they mustn't be left out in any way with regards to continuing to improve the livelihoods.
WANEP, as a peace-building organization, has been engaged in the implementation of activities throughout the country. In each of the LGAs, we did 2 trainings. One was on the LGA Act. We have lessons on peace building and conflict resolution, and we have issues on advocacy. So the other group, which is the community, who we perceive should be on their heels to make sure the LGAs do what is expected of them, we added advocacy skills and lobbying. Peace building has been on in our communities. We built on that. Not that we brought a new idea. This was why we did a survey, and then after we developed a manual out of the recommendations.
My name is Fatou Jame Toure, WANEP focal person, CRR. This particular project gathered women and men together to train them on how to get rid of violence in our societies, especially violence against women. And after that training, our regional teams were established, and I have my team here, a 5-man team, and this 5-man team is responsible for the sensitization in this particular region, CRR, both North and South.
Tango's role as a grantee under the Non-State Actors Strengthening Programme was to look at human rights. That was the area that they identified they wanted to work in. And they focused on human rights with duty bearers.
My name is Usman Yapo. I am the Executive Director of Tango. We thought that empowering duty bearers in the promotion of human rights and governance is an area where NGOs can come in. We had also some community leaders, youth leaders. They came together, and we had a 3-day workshop in terms of sensitizing people on this empowering duty bearers. Duty bearers means those working for government or government officials. So, and also we had the police and the security in.
The 3 days training, I would say, is very fruitful for all walks of life. I would say it's very, very important for civil servants who should know that they are at that position to serve the communities. But the communities also, I would say it's very important for them also to know their role, what they can do or what they can have if they ask for it.
Human rights basically give you the person the right, the things he needs to live. Basic needs: water, shelter, clothing, education, medical care. Basically, those are basic fundamental rights for any human beings. All right, so that's one. Good governance is really allowing people to have a say in whatever laws or whatever things you are implementing to make their life easy. If they don't have a say, then eventually it's difficult for them to understand and even respect that law. But if they participate in the formulation of those simple laws and regulations, and they know the implications, it becomes easy. And that's what good governance is. When you talk about human rights and good governance, people get agitated, not knowing that basically these are day-to-day life of the people. And somebody has to go out in the community and make this as simple as possible for people to understand.
Going out into the communities and working with these structures in the Central River region, informing them of human rights and how human rights feed into our daily lives. So the right to food, the right to an education, the right to safety and security. And so they've linked that with the roles of the National Assembly members. National Assembly members now know that part of their mandate is to protect the human rights of the people that they represent. And the same with the military, in their role as protection, is to protect the human rights of the people of the Gambia.
My name is Lamin Gassama, working for the Spanish Red Cross in the implementation of this EU project as the project manager. The rationale behind this call for proposal is to raise awareness on the promotion of human rights and international humanitarian standards and principles in the Gambia. And the overarching objective that we emphasize to see is to improve the level of awareness on issues of human rights and international humanitarian standards by the final beneficiaries. So far, all the activities that we identify in this call for proposal by the Gambian Red Cross and the Spanish Red Cross together have been implemented. One, we said we are going to do 2 consultancies. Consultancies in the formulation of a training handbook on human rights, protocols and standards that we would train selected NGOs that we would work with in raising awareness of the final beneficiaries of development projects. One such product is this handbook that I am holding. It's as a result of this project that we are able to have 350 copies of this manual that is called the Training Manual on Human Rights and International Principles. Again, we provide a 5-day training of trainers on this very manual by the consultant to train the beneficiaries, which are the 15 NGOs that we have worked with in implementing the activities on the Activity 4 Result 2, which is raising awareness of the village development committees, opinion leaders, the community members as final beneficiaries of development projects, so that they would have this idea: development is not a gift, development is a right, and it's not a privilege.
The partner NGOs, they have selected different rights they were going to focus, and it was a big variety, and they were also including rights for women, which is, for example, like marital rights, the marital status, and also the access to land for women. So these are very important rights as well, and there's a lot of misconception and miscommunication and lack of knowledge. So just by talking about it and raising awareness, the impact is huge. Just for the women, that they can feel more empowered, they feel that they're part of the community, they can participate in the decision taking, they can contribute. And the rest of the community can also see them as part of a member, as an active member. Other issues were also the right to education. We worked with the schools, with the school management, and as he also mentioned, all the children's rights, which is also very important to change misconceptions.
The grantees have been working through with the processes of inclusion to make sure that it starts at the grassroots level and continues up. It is not something that's going to happen quickly, but we have seen the change at the community level.
Well, PROPAC, at the regional level here, we facilitate, their programs. At the district level, we have their ward committee. And this ward committee is headed by an elected councillor. So this ward committee comprises villages, and villages, come, with their problems. That they feel that it is their felt need. Everything, is bottom-top approach, meaning that the problem emerge, from the community themselves. So the decision making, is taken by them, because they sit together and prioritize, among these problems. The planning is always, done by the communities. How to implement that sub-project is always, done by the communities. So the decision always comes from them.
Fund management?
The fund management is always, managed, by the community themselves. The communities, are always involved in the management of that fund. Like, presently where we are standing, you can see the bridge. This bridge, was one time, been one of the problem highlighted, by the community of Kabakama, which has, been sent, to the world. But maybe at that moment in time, we didn't have any fund to implement this sub-project. But we once had a project here called CDDP also. So Kabakama was part of, that intervention. They were there to implement this sub-project. Thank God, National Disaster Management Agency also came in and fund this bridge for them. I can cite another example. If you see the entire Sandu, there is no senior secondary school there. So the one at Diabugu, it has contributed a lot in the socio-economy, of those people living in Sandu.
For a lot of the groups that received the funding, this was the first time that they received funding from the European Union. So it was new to them at the beginning, and at the startup, our focus within the program management unit was really to help them to become familiar with the procedures. And I must say they've learned quickly. They have learned by doing, and there's been a great commitment to try and identify the best way to do business. Within that, they've taken a lot of the learning into the other areas of work that they've been conducting. They've seen the benefit in doing business this way, and we've provided drop-ins, outreach support. We've worked alongside them to try and bring together the administrative and financing aspects alongside implementation. And I think that almost all of them will tell you that they are in a better place for having gone through this process. It's been tough, yes, I understand that.
It was through EU that I know that we really have to photocopy checks before paying it out. And that really helped us. And ever since, we've just kept that system in place. Like, before we issue out any checks, we have to photocopy and maintain a copy. And so I believe as time goes on, staff begin to know the importance of documentation, which was really good.
We are trying to make sure the project is sustained and it's not, it will not end at the end of the donor funding. So our plan here is that we divided ourselves into small subcommittees. We have a committee that we have tasking to do fundraising so that we can meet our own small overhead costs. And I think the non-state actors should see us as also complementing what they are doing for the country. At least even if you have a proposal that is marketable, if they can help us market it through the NSA or through other funding agencies, we will try. This is to develop our communities, build their capacity so that our development will be sustained. That's what is our task now. That's what is our aim, and we are struggling very hard to say that it stays here.
Well, I think it's important to recognize things happen in stages, and definitely within this program a lot of seeds have been sown. It will be for the individual organizations and the networks to continue to support the process. At the beginning, people questioned a lot of it, but now when you sit down with the groups, it's a matter of normal business. And it's good practice, and it places them in a very good place for their future.